Welcome back to my YouTube channel. This is Robert Ralph, freelance writer and content creator. Today I wanted to talk about Boosting the Boost, which was a recent article written by Medium CEO Coach Tony. It was an exciting announcement. He gave us little snippets of what Medium will look like in the future, and I know there's a lot of apprehension on the site at the moment, but for me, I'm pretty excited by what he's announced, and I wanted to delve into just a small amount of what he said today. One of the first things I picked up on was him saying that he wanted to elevate publications. For me, this is absolutely fantastic. I joined Medium just as some of the larger publications were closing. I'm not going to go into all of that. I've been over that a few times before. But effectively, publications kind of lost their way a little bit, I would suggest, over the last 6 to 8 months. And a lot of people have gone to self-publishing. Publications, for those who don't know, are effectively groups. In the UK, I would say they're newspapers, if you like. But effectively, you have a collaboration of writers, depending on the publication, writing towards one or two particular niches. As an example, my smallest publication, What Is Love to You, is all relating about love, whether that's love for a friend, a family member, a holiday, a passion of yours. Perhaps you like soccer or football, as they call in the UK. So it's all about love. As long as it's love related, you can write an article for that publication. It's got just over 1,000 members as we speak. So in terms of Medium, it's a really, really small publication, but is well supported by its followers. My other publication is New Writers Welcome, and we're just a shade under 16,000 followers, so a much more significant publication out of the two. So when Tony said he was going to give more power to publications, what does this mean? In reality, we do not know yet, but what was suggested is publications would have the opportunity to boost certain articles, I hope of their choice. So what does boosting mean? If we followed the old category of curation or distribution, as it was sometimes called, effectively what Medium did is they selected certain articles and they publicised it to people outside of your following or outside of the publication that you submitted your article to. Effectively, they distributed it to many more writers than you would normally get exposure to. I'm assuming, and I could be wrong, I'm assuming Boost would be something very similar. Or it could just mean, and I hope it is the latter, it could just mean that when you write an article, and let's say it was published to What Is Love to You with 1,000 followers, not all of those followers will instinctively see that article that was submitted. So what I hope it means is that it will get distributed or boosted to all of those followers, so they all get a chance to read that particular article that the owner or editors have chosen to highlight. I guess my biggest fear is abuse. Somebody starts a publication, they write a ton of articles and boost their own articles. Whilst I think that an editor or an owner should be able to boost their own articles, I think there needs to be limits. So as an example, again, Coach Tony may have come up with these ideas already. We're waiting for the announcement, but possibly a publication can only boost 1 article a day as an example, or 10 articles a week as an example. So I would like some sort of control coming in to stop any potential abuse of this boosting power. The second thing, I think there should be some sort of qualifying criteria. As an example, let's say a publication to receive a boost has to have a minimum of 2 editors with the owner. As an example, maybe they must have 5,000 followers and possibly must be established for longer than 6 months. Now, I'm not saying they're the right criteria to use, but I just think there should be some sort of criteria, and possibly even the publication should be vetted to have a look at what type of content is being produced and whether Medium deem that to be of a high enough quality to be able to boost articles. I might be shooting myself in the foot here as a publication owner, but I really don't care. I don't care, that probably sounds harsh. I do care. What I mean is I don't care if publication owners miss out because the quality of the articles aren't good enough. What it will do is it will make people strive to becoming better editors, better owners, focusing on quality content rather than publish every article that comes through their doors. As an example, New Writers Welcome can get up to 50 or 60 articles a day, but we only publish 25. That is the maximum that we'll publish of any one day, trying to focus on a bit more quality, probably than we first had when we first opened our doors, but that just comes through experience. From my understanding, the old distribution or curation, as it was called, was selected 2 different ways. There was an AI, I'm led to believe, that picked up articles that met certain criteria, and then there was Medium staff as well who highlighted some of the articles that they enjoyed, and that was distributed throughout the Medium platform. But when Tony spoke about publication having that power, I'm really, really hoping for a few things. First and foremost, I hope there's not a massive influx of new publications. However, he did allude to that. And the reason I say that, I don't want people to start or create a publication just because they're able to boost an article. I want people to start a publication out of passion and something that they wanted to do. Running a publication or editing for a publication, it's very time consuming, and there is not many people that can do that on their own, so they rely on a number of editors to help them. And when you're editing other people's articles, you're effectively taking time away from earning money, because you, instead of editing articles and publishing them, you could actually be creating your own content. So I want to give a shout out to all the editors for my 2 publications. You do a wonderful job, and I really thank you for dedicating your time for our writers and readers. But moving on, like I said, I don't want there to be an influx of new publications for the wrong reasons. What I would like, and what I've suggested, is possibly Medium come up with some type of course where you have to pass the course to effectively own or run a publication. What I would like to see is I'd like to see the quality of publications increase, and it'd be really nice if they had some sort of passport or pass mark before you could start a publication, thus ensuring or helping any editor or owner basically get better at their job as they've selected. So I'd like them to focus more on quality and training and teaching, as opposed to just having a load more publications. I'm not sure the exact number of publications on Medium. From memory, I remember reading an article saying there was over 13,000, which is quite a lot. The other thing is, of course, not all of these publications are active, so that it would be really good if Medium thought about possibly closing those publications, and then the people that have got stories within those publications, that just turn into a self-published article. I think that would be a good way. I would like to see the number of publications actually diminish as opposed to increase. Unless they're going to come out with some sort of training program to help the owner and editors of that publication. Of course, the thing that probably would have raised most eyebrows, pricked most ears, was when Tony announced that editors would get paid. Call me a cynic, editors. Does that mean owners as well as editors? Come on, Coach Tony, pay your owners as well as the editors. No, I mean, we're all editors at the end of the day. So yeah, I mean, that's a really welcome announcement. But again, I've got questions surrounding that. Where's that money coming from? If myself and my editors are getting paid, is that being raised from sponsorship money? Am I taking off a fellow writer that doesn't have a publication or isn't an editor? Does that mean that, you know, my friend Joe Blogs, as an example, rather than getting a share of their £2.25, I think it is at the moment, will that go down to, they'll get a share of £1 because the other £1.25 is being collaborated and going off to editors and owners. So I'm a little bit interested on how that's going to be done. I welcome it. I think the editors do a lot of hard work and give up their free time, as I mentioned earlier. I'm definitely on board for that. To be honest, if I was rich, I'd pay my editors anyway. I just think it would not be nice to give them a little something. So yeah, where's the money coming from to pay these editors? Because my earnings have been going down. So where was it coming from? Is it coming from membership fees? Is it coming from external sources? Is it coming from a partner? Is it coming from sponsorship? I guess I shouldn't be as rude to ask that question, but I'm going to. Coach Tony, where's the money coming from to pay these editors? I would like to know. I don't expect to get an answer, but I'm going to ask the question all the same. If you guys and girls know the answer to that question, link it in the profile down below, link it in the comment section. Cause it's one thing that I'd really like to know. I would love to get paid for being an editor, but you know me, I'll feel guilty about receiving that money. The other thing that I wanted to mention is, will these editors get the option of opting out? Some people for tax benefits or perhaps they're claiming disability or perhaps they don't want to go over the bracket of a higher tax bracket because of just where they are now, they're on a lower rate of tax. I'm talking about the UK, I'm not sure if it's the same in the States, but some people don't want to get paid. So as you know, when we get a choice, when we publish an article, we get the choice to meter that story or not. So will we be able to opt out and not get paid as editors? And how is that payment going to come in? Is it going to be, as an example, the publication gets $100 a month? I'm making these figures up. I'm not saying it's $100. You know, you've got 10 editors, so each person gets $10 a month. Does it work like that? If 2 of them don't want to get paid, then that $100 goes between the 8 editors, or is it per individual? I don't know. A medium going to chuck a 50 quid bonus to every editor. I don't know how it works, but I'm really excited to find out. But I know it is crucial for some people. Some people do not want to get paid. They have their own personal reasons for that. And I really do like to find out a little bit more. And when I find out, I'm telling you, I'll be breaking the story, because I think that's quite big on Medium. There's hundreds of thousands, possibly millions of writers, and not everyone wants to get paid for various reasons. The other question that I've got really as well is, so let's take, for example, my publication, New Writers Welcome. We've got a number of editors, and effectively what we do is we discussed and we thought the best way of manning that publication is for each editor to effectively take 1 day of editing, and that's how we run the publication. We have got 2 editors, myself and another editor, who basically float. At the moment I do concentrate on a day because we're a little short on editors, but putting that to one side, normally I would just float around the 7 days of the week along with one of my other experienced editors. What is left to you? There are 3 editors, and effectively we go on daily and There's no kind of set day or set rule. So what that could mean, as an example, you know, one of the editors could end up doing 4 days a week, the other doing 3 days a week, the other one really not doing much at all. And would it then be fair to pay them equally? I'm not going to start a debate or a row with this, but effectively you might have editors being paid the same amount of money, but the workload really varies. So that might just have to, that decision might have to come from the owner themselves. But there are a lot of questions, and I know I'm sounding probably really negative right now. I don't mean to. I'm a really positive person. I do not want to come across as negative. For me, this is fantastic. This has been a long time coming, and I'll take every cent I can get. But I'm also all about being fair to people, and making sure that what I'd like to see is reward and effort matching together. So yeah, there's some questions. I hope Tony's watching. I hope he's able to comment. If not, perhaps I'll throw him a line and see if I can get him on camera talking about these things. So yeah, I mean, these are just my thoughts. Again, I'm really interested to know what you guys and girls think of these announcements. The next thing that was talked about is the potential of getting more views and more reads based on the quality of article. So again, I don't know how this is going to be segregated, or how this is going to go through the funnel effectively. But what Tony is suggesting is that quality writers will have their articles more exposed, let's say. I'm all for that. I think that's brilliant. It sounds like the distribution or the boost that used to happen. And I think that little quote is slightly different to boosting the boost as he first announced it. So whether that means that a bigger percentage of followers will see articles from the publication that they're following, I hope that's the way it goes, or not, I don't know. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments section. The other thing that I found interesting was Coach Tony mentioned that evergreen articles will get better exposure as well, not just on the day that they're published, but long into the future. I think this is great. I don't write a massive content of evergreen articles, but I have done a few. Probably 20% of my content is that. Oh, is it that much? Maybe not, maybe 15%, something like that. But I know that people really make a good living from writing evergreen articles. So I'm all for this. I do like to write breaking news articles, but let's face it, they're really a one-hit wonder. They're a one-hit wonder. So yeah, evergreen is the way to go, I guess. If you're just joining Medium, then if you have the potential to do so, make sure you start writing some evergreen articles, because they could come to fruition not just now, but in the future. And you know, when you join Medium, you join with zero followers, and no one really knows you. So what it does mean is writing some evergreen articles that when you do become more popular and more established, those articles could come back and pay you dividends. So yeah, well done, Coach Tony. I think that's a really good move. I think the last thing I probably wanted to mention was during the article, Tony wrote about pushing back on faith articles. I don't think he means religion by that. The way I read it, at least, was have faith in Medium and stop trying to beat the algorithm, stop trying to find hacks to earn more money. Yeah, this is great. You know, I'm not sure whether clickbait headlines will come into that. I'm not a massive fan. I don't have a major issue with clickbait headlines per se. I think you need to have a really catchy headline to draw your potential reader in, providing your content is relative to your title. I think that's absolutely fine. I think we should play on words, and I spend a lot of time on my titles. So I think having a strong title is really, really key. I think from memory, I did a YouTube video about that. I'm sure I did. If I did, I'll put it in the comment section below. If I didn't, I've just given myself another great idea, and I'll talk about that again in the future. But yeah, we want people to stop hacking the system, or trying to at least, and writing articles about, oh, do this, and these are top 10 hacks to earn $1,000 on Medium. Is rubbish. Nobody knows. Medium staff probably know, but apart from that, so yeah, I think that's a really good thing, pushing back on those type of articles as well. Hallelujah, I say. What people should really concentrate on is delivering really great content with the reader in mind. I think that's really, really important. Write for the reader. Sometimes I've written for myself to get some things off my chest, but what I really try and do is really write with the reader in mind, thinking, would they enjoy this content, and is it relevant to them? Is there a call to action? Can they take something away from it? But I divulge. I'm going on to another subject now. So please tell me what your thoughts are on Coach Tony's recent article, Boosting the Boost. Of course, I will link that article below for you to have a little look at if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. If you like the content, do me a favor, give me a thumbs up, and possibly think about hitting that little bell button. That will subscribe you, and then when my next video drops, you'll get a notification. If you do feel that you've got something to say, pop it in the comment section, and I promise I'll reply to every single one of you. For me, it's over and out. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.